So what is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, I guess. Today we'll be doing a new kind of thing, which I'm looking forward to maybe doing some more of this. We'll be reacting to short horror animations, and thinking of making it like a series like Freaky Friday or something like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Today we'll be reacting to some Llama Arts animations. Their link will be down in the description. They make short horror stories. They basically take audio from other things sometimes, and then they animate it into a short horror story. So let's check it out. First story is called The True Pizza Delivery Horror Story.
Bruh.
I was out doing a delivery one late night. It was probably the longest drive I had ever taken for a pizza delivery. From the pizza place I worked at, it was a 20-minute drive, which isn't too crazy out where I live. Plus, I figured it was a party and I would get a much bigger tip. Navigating the dirt roads at night was
Ooh, how fast are you going?
I pulled up to the given
Dang, look at that
address.
fire in the car.
It was some old, sketchy-looking buildings clearing. There were no cars parked anywhere or any lights on. I put my
We're turning back around right now.
My boss.
Turn.
I asked him to read the address at least 3 times to make sure I typed it in right, but that checked out. And he told me to at least knock on the door and check it out. He would normally get mad if we took back 1 pie, but I was afraid of what he would do if I brought back 4. I was insanely unnerved, but got out anyway and forced myself to the front door of the building. There was no doorbell, so I just knocked really hard. I heard nothing and didn't really expect to hear anything.
So, hot-tail it on out of here, boy.
Not because nobody answered the door, but because I was realizing that it was all a waste of time and gas.
And also, no one was answering the door.
Out of desperation. And then began to hear some kind of rustling noises from inside of the building.
That doesn't sound like rustling. That sounds like
the pizza guy. There was silence now.
Footsteps, heavy footsteps.
I felt a bit more uncomfortable now than before. But before I could turn around, I noticed something at the window. There was someone looking through the window.
Thunder just came outside. It scared the crap out of me.
Or a woman. All I noticed were their eyes. Their eyes were open wider than I knew possible, staring
I can beat that.
At me. I was disturbed enough by this.
Never mind.
I dropped the pizzas and ran back to my car.
Look, he just teleported.
I drove off the grass and back onto the dirt road, but I felt the car rocking about,
outside,
shaking and bumping. Something wasn't right. I didn't make it far from the building before I started hearing a sharp scraping sound coming from outside. There was so much resistance.
Are you like running? Are you running someone over right now?
The car came to a stop.
Just accidentally run a kid over.
I got out of the car to check what was wrong. A chill ran up my spine as I began to feel like my heart was constantly skipping beats.
He ran over to
us. And had completely fallen off the rim. Not just
you're just driving on.
All 4 tires were
How did you even?
I realized somebody did this when I was knocking on the door to that building.
Oh, tag team murder.
Instead of running, I got back in the car and locked the doors. I was so close to that building, I could practically see it from where I was, if it weren't for the trees blocking the view.
Then
I dialed 911 and explained everything to the operator.
Dude.
She told me the cops would be over as soon as possible and that I need to stay hidden. I asked her if it was advisable to stay in the car or run, and she told me it would be best to stay in the car with
just run, screw it.
She asked me to stay on the line with her until the cops arrived.
He's shaking right now, you can tell.
My whole body was shaking. In all directions.
It's so light outside. You guys see how light it is outside?
Dark, seemingly endless forest. I knew it would take forever for the cops to get there. I was not comfortable with sitting in that car so close to whoever did this. The next part, though, is what utterly destroyed me. It still shakes me to this day, and I hope nobody ever has to experience this kind of fear. As I was scanning all the windows, making sure nobody was outside, I looked in the rearview mirror, and there was the same person.
Oh, heck. How do you know it's the same person?
I saw at that window. Eyes open wider than ever.
How can you tell? It's so dark.
I could see now that it was a woman. and I could ever so slightly see a
Oh,
smile begin
no.
to spread across her face.
No, it's time to leave. It is time.
I opened my door and full on sprinted into
Just
the
run
woods,
away.
not caring how much noise I made. I ran until I was out of breath, which didn't take long.
Lazy.
I hid behind a giant log on the ground. I tried to cover my loud breathing with my hand.
Go, keep running. What are you
I
doing?
waited for what felt like hours until I finally heard sirens in the distance.
No, you're dead. You're still dead. Oh wait, no. These are
I
true
gathered
stories,
up
I
all
think.
the
I don't think
stamina
you're gonna
I had
die.
left to run all the way back in the direction of the dirt road. Eventually, the glowing red and blue lights came into view,
It's pouring out there.
and I'd never felt better in
Perfect
my life.
time for these stories.
They were parked in front of my car, investigating with flashlights. I came out yelling at them like a lunatic to help me. I fell to the floor and started
died.
to gag, almost throwing up from running so much. They picked me up and began to question me, to which I explained everything to the best of my ability. One of the two cars drove over to the building, and the two officers began to search the
They
building.
found nothing. Guaranteed.
They came back with nothing except for a couple of spiky objects. These objects were exactly the same as the ones used to slash my tires.
It's raining so hard outside.
The cops guessed that it was some kind of sick, demented couple, being that I saw the woman, but unfortunately they were never found, and that still kills me to this day. I obviously quit my job right after that and started working at a local grocery store. I know that I'll never forget seeing that woman at the back of my car.
He just pops out from the side. Alright, we have time to watch one more. Let's do School Lockdown Stories 2 Animated.
I'm 22 years old, fresh out of college, and I recently got a job at my old high school as a sort of computer intern in the school basement. The basement of the school is very messy and disorganized, but there is a small 3-person office that's actually very nice down there. It has 3 nice big desks, 2 mini fridges, a flat screen TV mounted on the wall, and oh so satisfying air conditioning, a luxury the students and teachers cannot enjoy in the school. And of course all the school servers and other computer stuff. I got the job because 3 of my old computer teachers flat out adored me. I could actually consider them as real friends, not just teacher figures, so they all helped tremendously in landing me this job. It's been great.
Oh, he's a
Until
YouTuber
something
now.
that happened a few weeks ago. My 2 co-workers that shared the office with me, Dave and Gary, weren't in the office at the time. They were upstairs working on papers or whatever. I was eating my sandwich during my lunch break when I got a phone call from one of the women in the front office telling me the school was on lockdown and that somebody, possibly armed, had entered the school. There wasn't much that I could do other than turn off the lights because, surprisingly, as nice as this little office was, it didn't have an actual door to it, just a big opening, and the door to the whole basement didn't even have a working lock. For my own safety, I did turn off all the lights in the office and my computer screen. I kept my phone on the desk, texting
so
both
bright.
Gary and Dave, but they wouldn't respond. I sat down there in the dark, playing games on my phone for like 20 minutes,
Played some
waiting
Clash
for the call
Royale.
from up front to tell me to resume working. I had no idea what was
Playing some
happening. I didn't know
Heyday,
what was going on upstairs
some
from down here.
Lords
But I was
Mobile.
not allowed to make any calls until I was
Candy
informed
Crush
that the
Sega.
lockdown. The noisy basement door opened. As the creaking echoed across the basement and into my office, I sat up from.
You guys see what I'm seeing, right?
Do you know the way?
Creaking echoed across the basement and into my office. I sat up from my seat, wondering if I should call out Gary or Dave. I was eager to get some info from them. Someone then came running down the stairs, and their footsteps were approaching my office. I pushed away my chair and crawled under my desk. Somebody entered the office but did not turn on the lights. There was just silence. I can't even describe the fear I was experiencing. I felt like if I made one sudden noise, I'd be a dead man. Suddenly, my phone dinged as I got a text message. I felt my entire world shrivel up and die at that one moment as I
Your
clenched
golden chest is unlocked.
my teeth in fear. footsteps suddenly moved closer to me until I finally dove out from under the desk in capitulation, begging whoever it was not to kill me.
It's probably like the principal.
And just then, someone grabbed my arm and pulled me up. It was some guy in a red plaid button-up, jeans, and a reddish-black cap. He told me, "It's okay, I'm just down here hiding with you."
What's
going on up there? I whispered to him. He kind of ignored my question and asked me if there's an exit down here. I told him, yeah, around that way. Before he could do anything else, I asked him, "Who are you?" There was a brief moment of silence. Before he started explaining, he was coming in to pick up his son when a teacher told him to hide.
Oh.
After his explanation, I
don't know
checked
if I
my
believe
phone
that, though.
and saw the text I received was from Dave. It said, "Dude, this is crazy. Some guy with a gun shot Mr. Buckley. He's wearing a red shirt and hat.
No.
Whatever you do, don't come upstairs." I was about to reread that text out loud to the man until I realized. I looked up and felt my stomach sink.
How is he not dead?
The man seemed to catch on to my suspicious stare. Panicking, all I could think to do was to run for the upstairs. A gunshot echoed through the basement, and I could hear the bullet ricochet off something metal in the darkness. But thank God the bullet missed me, and I made it upstairs. Fortunately, police were waiting at all exits, including the basement exit, and caught the man the second he opened the door.
Oh my God.
More good news. Our teacher, Mr. Buckley, survived the gunshot. It was later determined that the man and Mr. Buckley had some beef for whatever reason, but that was never revealed. All we know is that Mr. Buckley couldn't have done anything that would have warranted this kind of reaction. And I know that the sound of that gunshot will forever echo in my mind.
Oh, he almost died. Oh. See that gun at the end? I love how they always do that fake outro. Look at this. Well, that was all we were gonna do today. Thank you guys for tuning in to my horror podcast. Thank you for watching my ASMR. So yeah, thanks guys for watching. Llama Arts, your channel link will be down in my description. Please don't copyright strike me or whatever. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I might make this a series. Think of a name if you want to, and see you in the next one.